back, baby.
Byron and I were just saying, we feel rattled.
I feel rattled. We've tried a new camera setup. We're shooting with our iPhones back in the original days.
Yeah.
Also, no interns today.
Yeah, we're just doing it solo.
Just solo. We just got the dog. Stanford's in the house.
Stanford.
Shout out to Stanford.
Stanford will come and make an appearance at some point.
We've adopted a small 12-year-old Staffy for the next 3
there
months.
he
There
is.
he is.
Good
Hey,
boy.
Oh, there you are. Oh, hello. Be careful of the cord, Stanford. There he is.
Yeah, we've adopted him for 3 or 4 months.
Oh, Stanford.
But just in time for Christmas. So that's, something that we can all look forward to, the content that will come out of that.
Very, very excited. Nice to have a dog in the home, an office dog, just as we wanted.
Exactly.
But yeah, feeling a little bit rattled. We've gone back to our phones. Figured it was...
Stanford just shaking his booty on it. Bro. All right. Yeah, you can sit there. Okay, nice. Okay. Let's get into it. Is there any news? Any news?
Any news? Shows coming up, of course. We've got new...
Next week.
I mean, next year I think it's going to be big for the show. This is very much a MVP. We're just testing it. We're trying it out, seeing how it goes. Potentially might be doing free tickets next year. Obviously, that would be the dream.
Yeah.
If we could do free tickets. Of course, from a financial perspective, it's not as achievable as it may sound, but we've got some stuff in the works. Just good times. Congratulations. You signed your first record deal.
Yeah.
Very, very big.
Which is cool. Last night had that happen. Then we went and celebrated with a cheeky little Italian feast.
Very cheeky.
Worst tiramisu of my life.
Very average cheesecake as well, but great pasta.
Yeah, great pasta. So on that note, do you know which jingles are what?
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm on the decks.
All right. Do you want to blast us into the fact or cap?
Yeah, sure. Let's hit the fact or cap. So, all right. I'll go first then.
All right, Con, go on.
I got a
Ooh.
breaking news.
Nice.
This actually, I mean, it's not breaking news, but it is relatively fresh. So, did you know that Martin Luther King Jr. paid for Julia Roberts' birth?
Okay.
Julia Roberts recently revealed that Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta, paid for her birth. She explained that her parents, let me turn that down a bit. She explained that her parents had befriended the Kings whilst living in Atlanta and running a theater school.
Yeah.
One day, Coretta called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids.
Yeah.
Roberts explained, referring to segregation in the 1960s. My mum was like, sure, come on over. And they all just became friends and they helped us out a jam. Julia explained the King family paid for my hospital bill, Martin Luther King and Coretta.
That's so bizarre.
Is it one of those things where it's like, is that a coincidence or is it just like rich people hang around rich people sort of thing? Famous people just, maybe it's a small community than we realize. Or is it just like a crazy,
this is
weird
Julia
thing?
Roberts saying, but she wasn't famous when she was born.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so.
But I guess she probably came from wealthy families.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think most people do in those scenarios.
Why would anyone make this up? I'm going to go, this story is true.
It is actually completely true, yes. Yeah, I don't have that in me to make it up. But there you go. I saw that headline and I was like, all right, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, speaking of actors, and I would like to preface this with maybe not, with a trigger warning for unaliving.
Oh.
So, yeah, maybe serious. But in all seriousness, trigger warning, skip this story. It'll take about a minute or two. If you wanted to do that now. Okay.
I've read the room wrong there.
Let's get straight into it. Did you know that Angelina Jolie once hired a hitman to unalive her?
No.
Yeah. Okay, get this. This is going to sound insane, she says, but there was a time when I had hired someone to unalive me. Quoting to IMDb in a past interview, she said, I was aware that so many people around me, like my mother, would feel as though they didn't give enough or do enough for me and that I'd let them down or they'd let me down. So I decided to make it feel like a robbery. However, the hitman was a decent enough person and asked if I could think about it and maybe call him again in a couple of months. Something changed in my life after that point, so I figured I would stick it out. And if it wasn't for this, charming hitman, maybe she wouldn't be here today.
This is a great story. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think, I believe it. I mean, just through the ricochet of her life being, someone of her status, especially in like the early 2000s and whatnot.
Yeah.
Divorces, movie star, sex idol, just like it'd be incredibly stressful. Oh, look, I think it is true. I'm curious how she found out about a hitman.
Well, she said it wasn't hard to find one in New York.
Really?
Yeah. She was like, it was surprisingly easy to find one.
But surely if she was snooping around, all it needs is a whiff and that story gets out.
But she's already like, doing drugs at this point. And
Right. So she was in that scene. Okay, I'll say true.
Story is true.
It is true. Wow. It makes sense though. Like it does make sense. I would rather go out that way.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, especially if you're like, you don't want to, yeah, wow. I mean, that's a whole thing to unpack, isn't it though? You'd rather someone kill you than let people down by, I guess, almost admitting that you wanted to take your own life. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
It is deep.
That's very deep. Good story though. Very good story.
Yeah. Upon second reading.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
This could require some editing this episode.
Yeah, Jericho, shout out. Shall we move on to your next story?
Yes. So I'm going to hit the...
News again.
I think you might have a similar story.
Okay.
Did you hear about the Twitter prank after Elon Musk bought Twitter?
No.
So after Elon Musk took over Twitter following the $44 billion deal, the internet went into a frenzy about employees being fired and memes pouring in. Yeah. If you don't know, Musk was like firing some of the CEOs and whatnot. And so it was two youngsters who hogged the limelight after pulling off a hilarious prank outside Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. Holding cardboard boxes and acting like Twitter employees, the duo stepped out of the office seemingly pensive and spoke about being fired.
Oh, no way.
Curious reporters interviewed them without fumbling. They talked about free speech and Michelle Obama. The two men went by Rahul Ligma and Daniel Johnson. If you put their two last names together, it spells Ligma Johnson. They also complained. One of them saying they even own a Tesla and were devastated, and the second one worried about how he will look after his husband and wife.
Oh my God. Brilliant. This is brilliant.
So they literally just walked out there with like some boxes and people just came up and these reporters were just like asking all these questions.
That's classic.
And Musk even got a hold of it. He said classic Ligma Johnson and just like posted the video, reposted it.
I want this to be true. Could easily be bullshit. I want this to be true, so I'm going to say it's true.
It is true. It is true. Yeah, great story.
Is there like videos of it?
Yeah, there's videos of it. We'll put it up there. It's just these two guys and they're just like full serious everything. They're just like, it's so funny. One guy's like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to look after my husband and wife. And then they didn't pick up on it.
See, I don't feel bad at all for like the news, the journalists or anything like sucked in.
No.
You got to do your research or die.
But I mean, how are they going to research? Like, I mean...
No, but it's like they're there to try and get like the spill.
They're just leeches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's hard to feel bad
Obviously,
for them.
they do a good job in certain situations, but, it's also funny. However, all right, here we go. Speaking of animals, you said leeches.
Oh.
Yeah? Hey?
Okay, all right.
Hey?
I'll take it.
Did you know that elephants hear through their feet? Yeah, good one. Did you know that elephants hear through their feet?
I think I did know. I don't know. I've heard this before.
All right. Okay. Well, researcher Caitlin O'Connell discovered that elephants are specialists in seismic communication, relying upon sound waves that travel within the surface of the ground instead of through the air. To detect distant noise and vocalizations, they freeze, lean forward, and put their weight on their front legs. Sometimes they'd even lift up a front foot. All of them would do this at the same time. They use this as an early warning system against predators, and it's how they track other elephants that are too far for them to see.
Of course. Because what else is making that level of seismic destruction? Like, not a tiger, it's a freaking elephant. No, that makes total sense. I mean, saying they hear through their feet is obviously a bit of a headline, but... I think they more can feel the vibrations through their feet. And I think it's completely true. If it's not true, I'd be shocked if it's not true. That's
if it's not true, they should get on it.
Yeah, I know. Like it makes sense. Like if you have the feel, especially because of their weight, everything lines up. I think it's it's cool.
It is cool and it is true.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. That's cool. I love that. That's awesome. I love this. We've got so many animal ones, don't we?
Yeah.
There must be at least 20 or 30 weird animal stories.
Animals are amazing. Yeah, animals are incredible.
Yeah. Speaking of animals,
yes,
got them.
Nice.
Got 'em straight to the link. I'm gonna do I'll do the same one. Did you know snail mucus is harvested to make beauty products?
How?
So snail slime is a kind of mucus produced by snails. A snail releases different kinds of mucus depending on the way it's stimulated. When the stimulation is normal, the slime is viscous, sticky, but if the snail is disrupted or continuously or even violently, it releases a clear, foamy secretions. If the snail is sexually aroused, the slime it releases is clear and viscous. Snail slime or mucus is put into a wide variety of beauty products. Its presence is even marketed to achieve better sales. And people actually love it because it's like not chemical, it's like organic, whatever.
Sure.
They used to kill snails in order to extract the slime, but now they have a machine that acts like a snail's spa and forces them to release the slime. And I've got a video of this. They They put like 45 pounds of snails in this. They put like steam and put this acid on them so they release it. And then they just like chill in the spa for like 10, 20 minutes. Snail slime is used in skincare products around the world. Advocates often claim it can improve wrinkles and texture. In fact, it dates back to like 400 BC in Roman days when they would like crush snails on women who had like irritations on their skin. Obviously, they'd remove the shells.
Oh my God. I hate snails. Big time.
They're kind of cute. I watched this whole like 10-minute documentary on it. So I really love the story. Like I watched this whole video. I was like, this is awesome.
You're really selling this one.
Yeah.
Do I think that they jerk off snails in a big tub?
I guess that's the
reductionist,
the non-scientific way to say it.
Yeah.
So they can usually do 3 or 4 rounds before they like euthanize them. They euthanize them after 3 or 4 rounds, and then they like they sell the food, and they use every part of the snail, the shells, the guts. You know.
You do know a lot about this.
Yeah.
You do know
I watched
a lot
the whole
about
documentary.
this.
It was like a Vice documentary.
I'd be surprised now if it's bullshit, seeing as how confidently you're talking about all the details.
True.
So if I'm going to say it's true, and if it's bullshit, hats off.
It is true. It is true.
There you go.
No, I loved it. It's such a good one. This
That's a
documentary.
great one.
I was like, this is a cool headline. It piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
Then I read the whole thing and I was like, Then I watched the documentary. I was like, this is sick. There's like this Italian guy who's like obsessed with snails and has a whole snails farm. And he's just like, the snail industry is massive. As the skincare grows, our demand for snail nutrition it's just really cool.
There you go.
So yeah, that's a little fun one to throw in a conversation.
Well, I went to a comedy show the other day. I don't know if you ever heard of Bill Bailey, famous British comic. But he was talking about how he was involved in something where, like, you know, in New Caledonia, in like, you know, the place New Caledonia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they had like a native snail population, and it got like, due to colonization, there was like new snails that came and like ate everything.
Oh, no, I've heard about this. Yeah.
So then the French government was like, oh, how are we going to like kill the new snails? So they sent even bigger African snails after them. So there's just like the 3 waves of snails. And he was describing it as like the slowest like chase scene ever in history. It's just like the snails like chasing each other down. Anyway.
I mean, it's classic, isn't it? That's what happened in Australia with rabbits.
Yeah.
Like rabbits came in and then they just breeded. Then we brought in foxes to help the rabbits. And then we kept trying to bring in new animals to fix the problems. And they created new problems. And then we were like, whatever.
Fuck it. Yeah. Okay. Got a question for you, Byron.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you know what this is?
It's an exclamation mark and a question mark.
But do you know what it's called?
Is it like one word?
Yeah.
It looks like also, some might say, a big booty.
Could be. However, this is called an interrobang.
Okay.
Did you know that those 2 symbols together are called an interrobang, which is from the functions of a question mark or interrogative point, and the exclamation mark known in the like printers and like the news world as a bang.
What do you mean bang?
This is a bang, and this is like an interrogation mark. So this is officially called an interrobang.
Yeah, but what's it for? Like, give me an example of how it's used.
So
you're not explaining this very well.
This is used to suggest a rhetorical question.
Oh,
like an excited. It was used to convey surprise rhetorical questions using a single mark.
Is that it?
That's it.
So just because it's hard because you can't use tone and voice, so you can't be like, because you can't use a tone of voice. When you're saying a rhetorical question, you'd usually be like, why didn't you go check over there?
So they created it for advertising.
Yeah.
So you could be like, oh my God, this actually works.
Yeah,
or whatever. Right. Yeah.
It looks like an anime symbol they would use.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's called an interrobang.
That's cool. Interrobang.
Yeah.
If I put that, will Grammarly flag me, or will they know about it?
I don't know. Maybe.
There you go.
Who knows? Shout out. Is this a sponsored plug for Grammarly?
Interrobang. There you go. Is that it for story? Oh, true.
You reckon it's true?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking. I assume it's true.
Yeah, it is true.
All truths?
All truths.
All truths.
All truths. I did have a bullshit one, but I didn't get to it, so, you know.
Oh, do you want to do it? Oh, I guess it's bullshit. No, we'll save it. All right, well, that's it. Jump into Am I the Arsehole, shall we?
Shall we run a break?
Yeah, we'll run an ad break first.
All right.
And we're back.
We are back indeed.
We're back for Am I the Arsehole. Do we have a new thing for that? The stories where we share people saying, am I the asshole or not? Man, what am I doing?
We need L. We need L back.
I got some good ones, got some interesting ones, got some funny ones, got some more, questionable ones. We'll see how we go. Do you want to start?
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole? I'm not one of those guys who thinks breastfeeding should be hidden away, but I was in a restaurant and this woman was feeding her baby. Then she swapped breasts, leaving the other one out. That's weird, right? It was in the middle of the day in a crowded restaurant, family restaurant, and this woman was basically topless. I had my kid with me, so I just said, hey, would you mind covering yourself up? And she went completely apeshit at me and lost it. Am I the asshole? Is she the asshole? What's going on here, Byron?
God.
Because there's levels.
Yeah, I guess. I think if she went apeshit for that, that's probably. I guess we don't know. He could be over exaggerating.
Sure.
Her reaction maybe sounds a little bit overkill, but also should we be normalizing this a lot more?
Yeah, I mean, obviously public breastfeeding should be totally cool, normal, whatever, no issues. I suppose the next step is do you even try to cover it up, or you just go?
I mean, why does he care? What's his kid gonna do? Why does it matter? Is this damaging your kid's brain?
Some parents are weird about breasts, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is just conditioning of the modern world.
Yeah.
I would say he's probably the arsehole in this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on her reaction. If she genuinely went apeshit, I doubt she did. She probably just went, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, oh, she went apeshit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say he's the arsehole.
Sounds like he might be the asshole.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I just
breathe the net.
It's can you put it away, my child? What do you mean your child? What? It's not like he's what's he, 7 years old? He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's been sucking on those.
Yeah, exactly. He's used to them more than you. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
What's this one? I feel like we've only got the one sound for this. I'll give it a different one. So, am I the asshole?
This was the annoying sound that they didn't like.
That's got no sound.
Yeah.
Am I the arsehole?
Okay.
So I'm female 31 and my mother-in-law didn't have a close relationship. She's civil towards me, but she can be passive-aggressive at times. We tend to disagree quite a bit. We live in different states and my father-in-law passed away suddenly and my mother-in-law told me and my husband to come and attend the funeral, of course. Mm-hmm. She booked our tickets to fly her to the state. But the issue started when my husband told me that we couldn't sit together in the plane because his mum had booked him a first-class ticket while I got economy. I was flabbergasted by this. I tried asking him why he urged me to suck it up and we'll talk about it later. And that particular moment, I felt so much humiliation and contentment. I felt like she was treating me less than her in hard times. I felt like she was treating me less than her in hard times. I decided not to go and just go back home. My husband was shocked by my decision to go home and tried to convince me to go, but declined. He went alone and I ended up missing the funeral. Yeah. He was livid, calling me and texting me nasty things and calling me petty and spoiled. He said that I should be grateful his mum paid for my ticket to begin with and then she doesn't owe me a goddamn thing. I argued about this and we could have just booked both an economy if money was an issue, but he called me pathetic for thinking about what I did and his dad had just died and she was relatively empathetic. So am I the arsehole?
I think so. Yeah. Not the time and the place to throw a tantrum.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, it's a bit of a dick move, but
I know.
Also,
these people like this drive me so nuts.
Yeah.
It's they can justify. It's like, yes, in a scenario that would be justifiable, but you're just not looking at the bigger picture.
Right.
It's like your husband's dad's just died and you didn't go to the funeral because your mother-in-law already paid for your flight, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think the mother-in-law's an arsehole as well.
Oh, it's a bit of a dick move, but also she's paying for a flight. Her husband's just died. Don't make this about you in any way.
Yeah.
Just suck it up.
I think she's the arsehole. Here's what's interesting.
Ooh.
This fell under both arseholes.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe they meant the mother.
No. What? It's the mother or... Huh?
Or is it the husband? I think in this, she was saying it am I the arsehole or is the husband the arsehole?
Nah. I mean, I don't understand why he's angry. I can understand why he's angry at her.
I'd be angry.
Funeral, yeah.
I'd be angry just out of the pure
I think she's the
pettiness.
arsehole. I don't think she's the arsehole any other way. Yeah. There you go.
All right, what you got?
Got to the bottom of it. All right, here's a good one. Am I the asshole? My boyfriend only watches porn where the woman looks like me and it creeps me out.
What?
I've told him to stop it, but he says I should be flattered and it shows that I'm his type. So I've said if he wants that, he can have that and only that. No more sex with me.
So this is interesting because I sort of done Am I the Arseholes where people looked at the opposite type of them.
Right.
And they got it's just like a win, no, you can't win scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a tricky one. I think that I can totally see he's like, I don't know. He's like, he's trying to what? I can see his logic.
Right.
I think it's also a little bit childish logic.
But it is weird. It's like he's basically putting someone like his girlfriend into situations that she isn't like consenting to or doesn't want to be a part of or isn't a part of. And they're like fantastical sexual situations. I can see that being quite weird.
So would she just rather he just doesn't do that and just watches porn like a normal person, or just like,
yeah, or just no,
or not watch it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
I reckon.
I don't think he's inherently an arsehole.
No, he's not being an
this.
arsehole. I think she's maybe being an arsehole about it and like being a bit like, does it fall under like the kink shaming and like the whatever type thing? If she's like, I'm not going to sleep with you if you watch porn where the woman looks like me. Like that's a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, that seems, yeah. I think we need more information. There's like 2 sentences. Like mine's a lot longer, this one.
Okay. So who's the bigger asshole?
I think
she would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say either of them are though, if I could. I'd just say there's need to get some better communication.
They need,
really.
they need relationship counseling.
Yeah. You shouldn't be on Reddit asking Reddit users for...
Nice.
All right. So my girlfriend is a cosplayer. Oh, sorry. Am I the arsehole?
Okay.
My girlfriend... Oh yeah, am I the arsehole for calling a cosplayer a virgin? My girlfriend is a cosplayer and takes pictures for her social media and Twitch. My girlfriend is active in the cosplaying community and goes to these gatherings with different people cosplaying video game characters and anime characters, come to meetups to take pictures and stuff. She went to the smallest scale meetup with around 30 cosplayers, and I went with her to help her take pictures and also just hang out with her. We went there and there's this creepy, weird guy following my girlfriend around, asking her questions and talking about his cosplay stuff. He was cosplaying as some kind of pirate, but I didn't know who it was because I don't watch anime or play video games. My girlfriend was clearly uncomfortable with this guy, so I told him we're going to take some pictures and please leave. He took offense to this and started asking me where my cosplay is, and I said I don't know anything about this. He told me I probably don't even know who he was cosplaying as. He had a face full of pimples and also looked like a stereotypical anime gamer nerd, so I asked him if he was cosplaying Captain Redbeard of the Virgin Islands. My girlfriend immediately said, babe, and said I was being rude and forced me to apologize. We got home and my girlfriend says she's embarrassed of my behavior and called me an arsehole. So am I the arsehole?
Nah, I don't think you are.
I don't think so.
I think the weird creeper gamer like cosplay dude is the asshole. Look, this is a bigger conversation, which is probably more serious than this.
The Byron and Pace podcast.
But like, I think a lot of dudes hide behind the whole like, I'm just a like quirky, awkward guy, and then are quite sexually creepy.
Yeah. Oh, all the time.
Big time. And they use that like way of getting into relationships with women in like on like a what's the non-sexual platonic way, and then they're kind of like always pushing the boundaries and being weird about it.
Yeah. And then their scapegoat is, oh no, I'm just cosplay friend or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's very true. And if we take this example, like am I the arsehole, him or the girlfriend? I think the girlfriend's reaction seems a bit unnecessary.
Sure.
Like it's a classic, like she's dressed up, she's got heaps of guys' attention, and he's just like being a little bit defensive. There's a guy that's being creepy, so he kind of made a joke or whatever. Like
it's a good joke.
It's a great joke.
It wasn't like he was aggressive or like.
And he said he already asked him to leave.
Yeah.
So I think if we were to take the two, I wouldn't say she's an arsehole, but she's just like maybe a bit of she was embarrassed for her behavior. I don't know.
But I think the cosplay guy is an asshole.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Shout out. And look, nothing against cosplayers.
No, I
do
love
your own
cosplaying.
thing. Just something I have noticed.
I agree. All right. What you got?
We've done 4.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
That's it for this episode. What are we on? 25 minutes. Shorter episode than usual.
Something about this episode felt weird.
Yeah.
I've got to say that. But
I think because I'm just slammed right now.
Yeah.
It was just like, I just got to find the stories. And they weren't amazing stories, but I wouldn't say mine were bad stories. A Twitter prank, snail slime. Like, I mean,
like the snail slime.
I like the snail slime one. The Martin Luther King. Such a random one.
Yeah. Look, no cap. We're stressed. Not stressed. We're slammed trying to prepare for the show next week.
A million other things.
Looking forward to it. But yeah, thank you guys for listening as always. Much love. Can we get the stars?
Get the stars. That's
Give us
it.
the stars.
Sorry about the energy. The energy maybe was a little bit down this weekend. Hopefully you still enjoy the stories, the podcast.
Yeah.
They can't all be bangers, let's be real. They can't all be bangers. But, you know, I feel like it was still a good episode, still good stories. But yeah, something did feel off. Can't quite put my little
Yeah.
Little finger on it.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that, guys, and we'll see you next time.
I know what it was.
Big time.
I know what it was.
All right. Byron knows what it was. Do you want to share?
We didn't have any whiskey.
Oh.
We forgot to crack open the whiskey.
Oh, no. How have we done this?
That's
All right.
completely
Well, we'll
it.
fix that for next episode. Much love, guys. Thank you.
Guys, thanks so much. I'm just trying to bring a bit of energy back into this.
Finally.
Just smash that like button.
All right, guys. Hope to see some of you at the live show. Take care. Big kiss.
Yeah, we'll
Bye.
see you next week. Bye.